I'm Malcolm Dorsey, CEO, President, and Director of Torr Metals. Torr Metals is a company looking for early stage copper and gold porphyry potential in southern British Columbia, as well as orogenic gold in northern Ontario, Canada. And really what we're leveraging is highway accessible new ideas within prolific mining jurisdictions.
Malcolm, good to have you here. Welcome to London.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for bringing the weather, because it's lovely out there, isn't it?
Oh,
it is good.
Yeah, we have been enjoying that.
Now, talk to me. You're over here to talk about Torr Metals, obviously. First of all, what's the mood over there? What's the kind of investor profile look like at 1-to-1?
Yeah, so typically the investor profile, it's people who are interested in early stage projects. So that's really what we're looking for is early stage. We're moving towards maiden drilling of our projects, and our current focus is on our flagship Kolos Copper Gold Project in southern BC.
Okay. So you've got a couple of, maybe we should deal with the others so we can park that up and focus on Kolos. Okay. So you've got the Filion project over in Ontario. What are we looking at there, and what stage is that at?
Yeah, so the Filion Gold Project, so we picked that one up the same way that we did Kolos. So we've grown these projects organically in-house. So conceptual idea was developed by myself, and then we staked it. So we have 100% ownership of our projects outside of, we did recently announce a small option of an adjoining property on the Kolos Copper Gold Project. So we picked up Filion at the same time, pretty much as when we staked Kolos. Filion, what first attracted me to that one was the fact that where it sits in Ontario, there's major multi-million ounce gold deposits to the east, to the south, to the west. It's highway accessible. It's right off the Trans-Canada Highway 11. We operate out of the nearby town of Kapuskasing. So it's got all that infrastructure access, and yet very little exploration has been done there. So there were actually some reports talking about historical high-grade potential, so 91.4 grams per ton gold right off the highway, but no one had ever followed it up. So we followed that up over really the past year. We did some work to advance it to a drill-ready stage. That included about 1,400 soil sampling, the first ever soil sampling grid in the area, as well as some ground geophysics, VLFEM, which at this point has defined a 5-kilometer long, very robust conductor with 2 clusters of gold anomalism. So those clusters have gold grading up to 1.32 grams per ton gold in soil, which is highly prospective for some potential near surface subcropping of an ore zone is what we're interpreting at this point. So at this stage, that's a project that we're looking to advance. We're looking to advance it through a potential earn-in JV agreement.
Right, okay. So you've kind of picked it up as the cheap way, staking it yourself, identifying staking it yourself, and doing some of this kind of ground truthing, as it were. So the model there is JV partnership or some kind of earn-in situation. Okay, let's park that up. Let's go to Latham, because we're probably going to do the same thing, I suspect.
Yeah, so Latham, that's a project in northern British Columbia. We do have the Nat Pass copper gold porphyry deposit. It's right off of Highway 37. You'll notice everything is kind of along the same MO. It's adjacent to highways. We have access to nearby towns and cities. That project, though, we're working towards a permitting situation. We don't yet have it at this point. So we've sidelined that project and focused on the Kolos project.
But you're going to work to that permit?
Yeah, working towards that.
Okay, so it's fine. So let's get focused on the flagship, as it were. So what? In fact, before we do, do you know what? Tell me a bit about you and your background. I know you're a geologist, but where have you been? What have you done?
Yeah, so I'm a structural geologist by training. With that, I've worked on projects really in Europe, North, South America for the most part. Worked with a number of different companies, so largely in a consultant capacity. I did a lot of that and worked directly for some companies as well. That's included Newmont Mining, worked for Sabina Gold and Silver up on the Back River project in Nunavut, Atlantic Gold, Osisko Mining, Core Mining. So a number of different names, a number of junior companies as well, just offering consultant services. Largely started in exploration, ended up in project assessment, review, advancement of projects from early stage up to resource level.
Tell me about that. That's kind of interesting to me. So project assessment, because I love the phrase when people say to me, oh, we kind of drill to kill. So we work out very quickly, can this thing be economic, or do we keep pumping money into the thing, or do we get rid of it, right? So for you, project assessment, how do you go about working out if something's real or not?
Yeah, oh, I think that's a great question. But so there's really 4 factors that I'm always looking for. Actually, at the top of my list, and you'll kind of see how that correlates to the decision of where we ended up doing our projects, is infrastructure. So having that infrastructure already established, so you've got highways, roads, railroads, power lines. Like if you're in that sort of environment, you've already massively reduced the exploration cost. If you find anything significant, then that actually good. You've proven it has the geological legs. Yeah. But if it's in the middle of nowhere with no infrastructure access, it's going to be difficult to move on to the next level. So we've ensured that, as well as mining infrastructure. So being close by operating mines, active assets held by major mining companies, that really sets the stage for, as well, if you find something, then you can actually process it. And there'll be interested parties probably looking for that feed is the main thing that we're leveraging. So that's the first thing, infrastructure. Second of all is, of course, prospectivity. You need to be in the right type of belt to host what you're looking for, whether it's a large copper gold porphyry system or an orogenic gold system. 3 is really going to be the grade. It has to be the right kind of grade that a future prospective partner or takeover potential is going to be looking for. And then 4 is really looking for the scale. So you can't just have high grade samples and nothing to back them up. So you have to have the scale in terms of the geochemical anomalies. So having a large soil anomaly with all the pathfinder vectors, elements that you might be looking for, correlate together with large scale geophysics, whatever that geophysics takes the form of.
Right, okay. That's quite a good advice for investors looking in at any project that they may have their eye on for sure. Let's go to Kolos, right? So you staked it yourselves. What do we know today? What can you tell us? Because the main drilling is about to start, so what can you tell us now?
Yeah, so the Kolos Project, where it's located, we're right off of Highway 5 in between the city of Kamloops and the town of Merritt. So people from British Columbia or who have been there have likely driven through the project. It's only about a 2-hour drive down to Vancouver, which is Canada's largest western port. But also, importantly, where we're located in terms of active mining assets, we're only about 27 kilometers south of the new Afton deposit owned by New Gold. We're also 24 kilometers to the east of Highland Valley, so that's owned by Teck. So these are 2 large operating mines within the region. There's Copper Mountain as well, recently acquired by Hudbay, just over 100 kilometers to our south. But importantly, with New Afton and Highland Valley, both are facing feed shortages within the near term. In terms of production reserves, New Afton, you're looking at about 6 years left. And then Highland Valley, if they get their extension, is 15 years. So any significant discovery on the Kolos project has the potential to provide that feed that they might be looking for. And when we acquired the project, it really had not much work done on. So it had a little bit of surface sampling, rock grab sampling, that was indicative of the type of systems I'm looking for, which is an alkalic copper gold porphyry. It's in the belt that leads up from Copper Mountain up to about New Afton. It's located along that. You get a couple of different porphyry systems. So right setting, right sort of grades that I was seeing in the hand grab samples, but I wanted to show the scale. So in the last year, we did some soil sampling, we did some geophysics, and we've shown that where you get high grade at surface in outcrop rock grab samples, there's also very large-scale multi-kilometer soil anomalies with all the types of pathfinders that you might look for in a porphyry.
Such as?
So you could be looking for arsenic, molybdenum. Yeah, so those are some good ones that you can look for.
Okay. About this maiden drill program. So what does that look like? How much are we spending? How many meters? And how have you actually come up with the targeting and modeling for that?
Yeah, so we're coming at with a bit of a phased approach. So looking at a maiden drill program of up to 3,000 meters of drilling.
Yeah.
Looking to do short holes to start, so 150, 200 meter depth to those holes. The first phase will be focused on the currently drill permitted Bertha Zone. So we have 3 zones, the Bertha, Sonic, and Kirby Lodi Zone. So at Bertha, we're drill permitted. There's some very high grade copper at the surface at Bertha.
High grade being what are we looking at?
Rock grabs of 8.48% copper, and then also some historical reports of trenching of 12 meters of over 1% copper. They also did historically a little bit of stripping from the top, so a small pit where they produced 31 tons at 2% copper. So that's something that, but one thing that I would like to do beforehand is an IP survey. It's never been done over those showings. So we know that there's a soil anomaly, we know there's high grade grab samples. Now we do some IP to see what the subsurface holds, and that'll guide first phase of drilling.
Right, okay. You'll do that you'll do that before the drilling campaign starts, obviously, so you can triangulate and this. Talk to me about the money. So again, remind me how much you're going to be spending. Sorry.
Yeah, so we're currently doing a financing for $2 million Canadian.
Yeah.
So it's out of that we'll use that for the exploration expenditures at Kolos.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And is it kind of? I mean, obviously, where you are, it's not seasonal. You don't have sort of seasonality, do you?
No, there's not really a seasonality because of
get
the
after this
accessibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have any need of an exploration camp. That's true for all our projects.
Right.
Because of that, we can keep crews in town,
Right.
and that drastically reduced those costs, as well as allows for that year-round operation potential. And since it's next to highways, don't have to worry about snow removal or accessibility in the winter time.
Yeah. So it's all good. So we talked about copper there specifically. Any other kind of byproducts that we need to understand?
Yeah, so we do see some gold within
Okay.
the system as well, generally in the couple grams per ton gold.
Okay.
At some of our other targets, such as the Kirby Lodi target, we do have gold reaching just over 4 grams per ton in rock grab from outcrop. In terms of the soil anomalies, we're seeing up to 725 ppb gold, which is exactly what you want to see for these alkalic copper gold systems.
Right, and just talk about it and simplify it for folks, some of the retail folks at home. You're seeing copper gold outcropping at surface. So your goal is to what? Obviously, find out where this came from and where it goes. But so how do you go about doing that? What's the program? Well, what's the potential program look like for you?
Yeah, so with that, with the IP at Bertha, we'll be drill ready for Bertha as well as the Kirby Lodi target areas.
Yeah.
So with that, we've defined those using the soil samples. We've got subsurface geophysics done, a ZTEM geophysical survey at the Kirby Lodi zones. So we can see that there's copper gold in outcrop. We can see that it's in the soil. So now we can also see, in terms of the geophysics we have on the Kirby Lodi zone, very large geophysical signatures coincident with it. So these are big. They're 1,300 meters by 800 meters, suggesting a very large zone of hydrothermal alteration and mineralization, so a potential porphyry center. So it's got good coincidence with that surface mineralization. And with that, we can also see it's hosted in the right type of rock that you would assume to have with a porphyry system.
Right, and obviously, as we said right at the beginning, copper gold well understood, but also well liked at the moment. In terms of this raise, I know you're here in the UK, but that's to do what? Are you looking to kind of change up or spread out the kind of register somewhat?
Yeah, so it's both. Yeah, I'm here to meet with existing shareholders,
Okay.
as well as also meet new prospective shareholders that are interested in the story. We do have quite a bit of interest from the European markets, so yeah.
More than Canada?
I'd say
Are we back to normal in Canada or not yet?
I'd say in Canada, yeah, it's perhaps not quite back to normal yet.
Right.
But I am looking at, within Torr Metals as well, we spent quite a bit of time developing more of a European network. So I would say close to about 50% of our backing now is European.
Interesting. Yeah, we're hearing a lot of, from gold companies specifically, interest from European generalist investors. So something's happening over here.
Yeah. Well, and there's an appetite for copper as well, I think.
Yeah.
People are looking at the macro scale and they're looking around for tier 1 safe jurisdictions and new copper plays as well that they can invest in.
Okay, and talk to me about the register or the kind of corporate setup that you've got. Not a lot of shares out.
Yeah, it's quite tightly held in the fact that it's 42 million shares outstanding.
Yeah.
That's pre-financing that we're doing right now. So 42 million shares outstanding. We're trading around 13-14 cents Canadian today, as well as 5 to 6 million market cap. So it's a small market cap, a lot of torque that you can have on a market cap that size with the number of shares that we have outstanding. 25% of those shares are owned by management. So even within that 25%, I control about 10%. So there's strong management ownership of the company. Outside of that, there are a lot of high net worth retail investors, many of whom who have invested with companies. I'm part of the metals group of companies, so have invested in some of our other companies and are following us on to the next company and the next opportunity that they see.
Remind me, who else is in the metals group?
So within the metals group, so the chairman of Torr Metals is John Williamson. So with that, the metals group of companies also includes Emperor Metals. We have a number of other startup companies that we're working on right now. So some good companies out there.
Okay, good. And the plan, obviously, once you kind of get this drilling done, so how long is it going to take? Actually, I didn't ask you.
So you could be looking at, I would say, up to 2 months to do 3,000 meters.
And then the assays back within a timely fashion. Is that happening in Canada still?
Yeah, well, the fortunate thing about the location of the Kolos Project is also there's a lab just in the city of Kamloops. So that's a 30-minute drive from the site.
Right.
So you can basically deliver samples as you go, which is going to help speed up the process.
Okay, and your plan is to develop this project yourselves, continue to do the drilling yourselves. There's no, earning, because I'm just always intrigued. Yeah, there's always a flagship project. We'll do it ourselves if we can, but if not, we'll do an earn-in kind of structure. And it has a different return profile, length of or duration of hold, etc. But for you guys, you think there's some torque, as you say, on this and excitement that you can generate yourselves through the drill bit, if the money's there.
Yeah.
If the money's there, right? Do you think the money is there for exploration again? It's been a tough 3-4 years, hasn't it?
Well, it's been tough. Yeah, certainly. I think there is money there, and the excitement, starting to see it grow within the markets, and there are more people reaching out and looking for opportunities.
Yeah.
With that, though, that is something that we're also entertaining, and it's part of the setup that we've done as well. The fact that we've made sure that we've got the infrastructure access, we have the prospectivity, we've got the scale and the size and the grade, and we have neighbors, a lot of majors who are neighbors. So actually, shortly after staking the project, Fortescue moved in. They staked one of the largest projects in all of BC, just to my north. As well, Boliden has also staked up in that area.
Yeah.
So just to my north is those two companies, as well as New Gold. To my west is Teck. To my south is Hudbay. So that's 4 majors out there and 1 mid-tier producer. Okay. So it's a good neighborhood to be in. It's getting filled up. And then there are a number of other prospective companies who are looking in BC for new opportunities.
Right. So that's the mining infrastructure bit, isn't it? You're in the right area. But I guess what I've struggled with the last few years is trying to work out how people are valuing explorers and how they should value explorers. You've got your kind of 4 key rules that you look for in terms of assessment. How do you think people should look at your company outside of those 4 things? Why are you different, better, higher torque, better leverage for people in terms of investment, and why now?
Yeah, I'd say why now, because we're in pre-discovery phase valuation. So we're a small market cap, we're tight share structure. So as we move towards this maiden drill program, there could be a significant re-rating should we be successful. We have really de-risked as much as we can within an early stage project such as this. So now it's moving towards that stage at which you have the truth at the end of the drill bit. And then it's just really the jurisdiction that this is also a new idea. So something else out there is, well, like they say, majors know a project that a junior explorer has even better than that junior explorer. But that is when there's a lot of drilling or a lot of work that's already been done on that. There's a lot of data that can be pulled out of the public databases.
Yeah.
But when it's a new project, then and you find something significant, then that really comes out of nowhere. So it's a surprise. It gets the market excitement, and it also attracts the attention of major players who haven't seen this project yet. They've seen plenty of others over the decades, but this is something new, and it's also in their backyard.
You feel like you're timing this right.
Yeah. Well, and with the commodity market as well, like this is time we're seeing the highest levels of gold. We're seeing copper holding strong, and demand continues to increase. And when you look at that demand of copper, it's just really, even over the last couple of decades, it continues to grow.
Now, okay, final question. It might sound like a strange one, but try to answer it. What are you bringing to the table? What are you good at? You're CEO, relatively young. I look at you and go, you're relatively young. What are you bringing to the table? What are you good at?
So what I'm good at, really, I'd say the niche that I'm in is developing that from early stage up to resource level.
Right.
We do have the capacity on the team as well to take a project to mining, if that were ever something that we want to do. But with that, so coming up with the conceptual ideas, driving it towards a new discovery potential, and then developing it beyond that, as well bringing some of the connections that I've got with major miners. So making sure that their eyes are on the project, even at this earliest of stages.
Yeah.
And that's also rounded out by the board. So I've also got Gordon Maxwell serves on the board. He most recently, prior to retirement, was Glencore's North American manager, business manager, as well as exploration manager, focused in Canada. And with that, he's also there to help us develop things in a methodology that, that the majors are going to recognize.
Good man. Lovely to meet you, and nice to hear a nice story like this. Yes, I know it's sort of early stage, but as you say, the setup is so important, isn't it?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, I think, and that's where it's I think can be appreciated that with these early stage projects, you can really make sure to make that setup has a very strong foundation at the beginning. So then, as you said, as you put money into exploration and advancing it, we can make sure that it's being advanced in the right way that's going to be recognized.